Traders, happy Monday. I feel like I've been live about 4 times this morning. We did my pre-market plan, and now we got Andre on from Edgeful. So, yeah, Andre, for those that are watching for the first time, introduce yourself, and then we can get going into this morning's stream.
Perfect. So, hi everyone. My name is Andre. I'm the founder and CEO of Edgeful. It's a technical analysis tool, it's a data analysis tool. I'm sure you've heard James talk about it. We're trying to take over the trading space right now, trying to give people an edge, trying to give them the data that they need to actually become profitable and not take random trades based on their emotions, but trades on the side of the data that they would otherwise not have access to. So, yeah.
Yeah. Nice. And I've been really enjoying it. So maybe we can speak about some of my trades this morning. I took an early loss and then bounced back with a nice winner, trading SPX, right? US 500, call it whatever you want. But yeah, this was basically taking off the opening range low. So playing your previous day's range, which I spoke about on my pre-market plan that we had already taken out previous day's highs. Monday, I also spoke about that. I showed them the stats about how Monday in the last 2 years, last 6 months, last 5 years has typically been the most bullish day on ES, on the US indexes. So we can speak about my first trade. Yeah. So my first trade was a long, maybe buying a little bit too high, but basically buying after the open, about 5 minutes after the open. I thought we were going to get a little bit more continuation. We did have a massive bullish week last week. I think on ES we're up over 3.5%, 4%.
Yeah.
So maybe a little bit of choppiness this morning. So I took this early loss. I tried to add in a little bit. So I took this. I mean, there's a massive bar down. I was literally in profit and then came right back down. So you always got to love that. But then I got long off the opening range low. And this is actually an indicator that you can get from Edgeful, right? If you actually type here and you look by invite only, you can get this with Edgeful's reports, right? And as you can see, I got my Edgeful opening range low. This is the black line here. And end up having this kind of like flush out. We hold daily VWAP, and I got back in off this opening range low, and we got more EV to the high side. So that was my winner, and then I took off 70% of my position at the opening range high, and then I got full out here as we pop a little bit higher. But, we can't catch the full move, but I think this was a really nice second entry, prepared to get back in. But yeah, again, using your statistics from the report. And this is something that has helped me gauge, particularly because I've moved over from the FX space to the indexes, has helped me a lot in seeing where my edge actually lies. So, what are your thoughts on the markets? Any comments on that, Andre?
I was going to say, I love that you cut the so something that I noticed, I've spoken to over 1,000 traders now. And something that I notice is that people want to be right with the very first entry. And what you did in this trade was you entered, you stopped out, and then you got back in to a trade idea that was still valid. So sometimes you don't get the ideal entry on the first entry. And then you need to let price kind of play out, and you need to not be scared to enter again if your trade idea is still valid. So you got out, and then you said, you know what? It's back in play now. I'm getting back in. And then there is no ego involved in that. So to say, I'm playing the statistics, I'm playing the odds here, they're in my favor, I want to get back in, and you're not scared to cut a losing trade. And something else, you mentioned that you added, but you're not holding on to a heavy loser all the way down. You got out, you cut your risk, you manage your risk, and then you get back in expecting price to go back in your favor. I love that, because that's one thing that honestly people just don't do. Usually they're going to hold on to their losers and then just kind of sit in this terrible drawdown. And then as soon as they go in profit on a separate trade, it's the moment they go in profit, they sell everything, and they never let their winners kind of run. So it's something that psychologically, a lot of people are wired in the opposite way of the way you should be wired to be a trader.
The
way that people think about consumers, and the way that we operate with shopping, the way that we operate with groceries, if something is on discount, we want to buy more. But in reality, when you translate that over to trading, you don't want to be buying more of something as it goes against you, because you're probably wrong in that trade. You want to be buying more of something that's going in your favor, because that means that your trade ideas, you're correct, at least in the time frame that you're looking at. So personally for me, I never like to add to a loser. I will only add to my winners, because it allows me to keep my losers small and allow me to keep my winners big. Because now some people will say, well, I don't want to add to a winner because it's a higher price than when I first started. And that's that consumer mentality. That's that mentality that we need to kind of train ourselves to avoid. So
yeah, something that's helped me a lot in terms of the moving over as well, Andre, has been I've started my positions off quite small. Like, let's say I want to, buy 10 contracts, let's just say, right? We'll use the future space easier. I'll start off with 2, right? In a CFD space, let's say I want to buy 1% of my account balance. I'll start off with like 0.2%. And what I did is I added it on my first trade. So I was in at 0.2. I added up to about 0.5. Realized it wasn't working. But something that has been helping with me with my positions, I'll start small and I'll either add, or I'll start small and I'll either scratch. So I started this position and I'll scratch. Wasn't working. I got out of it. I took a loss in the first trade. I wasn't able to. The candle was so quick, so I got out. But then I'll look, and then I got back in and actually added again on my second position as well. So I think that's something that helps me a lot, because I think a lot of traders, me included, is when you start off your position at full size, you can get married to that position. Whereas if you start off small, you actually have no kind of like bias, because obviously if you're in a position, you obviously want it to work out in your favor. Whereas if you're in small, you can see, okay, with real live money on the line, where's my position? How's it gauging according to like my P&L? I can see that fluctuating. Okay, it's working for me. I can add. It's not working for me. I'll scratch and look at it, getting it at a better price.
100%.
And something that actually, and if you guys watch my pre-market plans with Edgeful every single day, I'm doing them almost every single day, right? I like to stick to a one bias. So if this has come down, and this view app over here is yesterday's view app, the black view app coming across my screen is today's view app, and this white line over here, I've got a lot of lines on my screen, is yesterday's highs, right? But as you can see, we take out yesterday's highs in the pre-market. That stat, which I'll show you now, tells me that I want to be bullish today. And also be trading above current day's view up. Now, it's pretty simple. I'm not trying to play both sides of the market. Crudeli speaks a lot about this. I don't know about your trading, Andre, but I like to just stick to one side of the market. I don't really like to play both sides. This is something that I don't do well, and I recognize
that. One of the things that I like to do is create a bullish and bearish scenario. So I used to post actually on Twitter my pre-market plans, and I'd write out, okay, here's the economic data that I'm looking at. Here's my key levels for the morning. Here are my bullish plan. Here's my bearish plan. So like if price reclaims this area, I'm going to have a bullish bias targeting these areas. If price drops below this area or whatever it is, I'm going to be bearish in this situation. But I always, like you do, I always incorporate the data into either situation. And then I kind of just sit back and wait for one of the situations to play out. I found that, and it's so great that you do the pre-market plans live, because something that I found is that if I don't do the pre-market plan, I kind of just go a little bit wild and just kind of start looking for stuff. But if I'm at my screen before the day starts, before market opens, and I have something prepared, then I'm like, well, I know my plan. Let me just wait for it to set up. And then if it sets up in the way that I like, then I'm going to take it. And that for me has helped a lot. But looking at that data in the morning is what helps me a lot too, is how is everything kind of unfolding? Has the data changed? Like you're looking at previous day's range here, like once we reclaim previous day's high, 74% of the time in year to date. So in the last 8 months, almost 8.5 months, prices closed green on the day. So having those levels marked out, what's my previous day's high? What's my previous day's low? Now, once we break through these levels, it's very important that I understand now I need to have a bullish bias. And
Agreed.
And one of the ones that we actually just added recently is the opening candle continuation. So if you go to price action reports, it's not action. Right there, right in the right there, right 2 below the gap fill, right there.
Oh, there, opening range.
One below, right there. Perfect. So if you just change the time frame to customize that report, and you change that to 60 minutes or the 1 hour. So now what we're looking at is
interesting.
If the first candle, not the first candle, the first hour of market open, you can see on the left side, if it's green. Now, what does that say? 71% of the
71.59% of the time, we're going to close as a bullish day.
Yeah. Sorry, I got
Yep.
this camera that adjusts with my head, and I kind of hate it because it doesn't,
No,
it
you
moves
good.
around. But so if the first hour is higher than the open, almost 72% of the time, the day is going to close green. So that first hour is very, very indicative of how the day is going to close. Same thing goes for the red days, and you can customize the report to the first 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45, and first hour. So there, I mean, obviously the edge is going to be the biggest on that 60-minute time frame.
Yes.
But just looking at that first hour to say, well, is it green or red? Is it higher or lower than the open? Now you can say, this is obviously not a buy signal or a sell signal, meaning like you don't just buy because the first hour is green. It's just another added confluence to say, we're above previous day's high. The first hour was green. I have a very bullish bias now because historically this day is supposed to close green 70x% of the time, 75% of the time, 70 whatever it is percent of the time. Now I have a bullish bias. I'm aligning my thoughts, my trade ideas with the bias of the day.
Yep.
So that's one of the things that we added this recently. If you actually have any thoughts on what we should add in terms of like sub reports, like you see we have by weekday. And if anyone who's watching, anyone who does, we can add like something else. Like if you want to look at any like performance or anything else like that, we can add that in. Just let us know. And on the side there, you can see we have the tools on the left side, the left bar right there. Yeah, the toolbox. You don't have to click it right now. Just a little bit higher, right above right there. You can send us an email, and yeah, that'll bring an email up. But send us an email, build a report, and that's how you can do it. You can just reach out to us right there on the side.
On the left-hand side, build a report. So you can literally ask or request the data report that you would like. I think something that we've been chatting about, I do like this by weekday. You can actually see, and this is in my pre-market plans. For those that are watching me for the first time here on Twitter, I definitely encourage you, or if you're rewatching this, please get on. I'm always doing my pre-market plans at least 30 minutes to an hour before the open almost every single day. And I know for a fact that if you watch it is going to help you make money, right? Because I keep it pretty simple and I play to the reports that I really enjoy. I think this is something that you've got a lot, Andre, is that a lot of the traders, they're overwhelmed, right? There's so many reports here. What ones to use? And I think there's two that you can maybe start off with. And maybe this one, this is the first time I'm actually seeing this one. So this is really cool as well. But I think there's two ones that I like. The previous day's range report, which tells me how often, if we break previous day's highs, do we close bullish? And if we break previous day's lows, how often do we close bearish? And then the second one is the initial balance report. And I think this is pretty similar, is that initial balance report, if you don't have a bias going into the open, or if you are in between biases, waiting for that initial balance, because I think it's one of my favorite ones. But if we look over here, the initial balance breakout, right? So waiting for that first hour is pretty, which we obviously have had already today, and it looks like we're moving higher. As you can see, we're breaking the initial balance. You can also get the initial balance over here. So we've broken the initial balance. So as you can see on ES here, in the last 6 months, so we get single breaks 68% of the time, meaning that once you break the top side of the initial balance, the first hour of trading is high and low, we only come back down and break it 31% of the time, right? And also, if you couple that with the opening candle continuation, the hourly, you can see, okay, well, by weekday, maybe Mondays aren't too great, but by standard, you can see 71% of the time we actually close as a bullish candle. So now that adds confidence. We've taken our previous day's highs, we're above the initial balance high, and our first hour was bullish. Let me buy dips today. That's how I kind of look at it. I'm like, okay, if I'm a buyer, I want to be buying dips. If I'm a seller today, I want to be selling rallies. That's kind of how I see it. And then I build into my positions. But this is how you can use Edgeful's reports. Find 3 or 4 that you actually enjoy, and then look to build a system around that. That's what I advocate for. I wouldn't come in over here and take what can I trade today? That's not what I would do. I would say find 3 or 4 that make sense to you, and then build a trading system around that.
Exactly. And that's something that is so important for traders to understand, is we have so many reports, but you do not need to be trading on every single one. You need to find the ones that fit your trading style, fit your personality. So some people can sit at the screens all day. They can manage their trades very closely. Some people can't do that. So those people, you might want to look at the swing trading reports or more of the longer term day trading reports. So maybe your average position time is 4 or 5 hours or 3 to 4 hours. You need to be looking at a very different set of reports than someone who can manage their trades and look at consecutive candles and maximize their profits by saying, okay, there's 5 consecutive candles, which we do have a report for. And now I'm going to sell my position. I'm going to close my position because the 6th candle I'm expecting to be red. There's a very different trader, very different style that people come with. And we have something for everyone. It's just on you to kind of find which ones suit you and suit your personality. And then exactly like James said, it's really about building a system around those reports that you like.
Yes.
So
if I pull this up again, when you come to Edgeful's website, right, then you guys are running a 7-day free trial. So the link is in my bio. Go check it out.
Yeah.
But if you come over here, you can actually favorite your report. So let's say, like I've just done now, right? I never knew this was a report. So I come here to opening candle continuation. This button over here, you can actually favorite this button like that. And it will come up in your favorite section over here. Now, every single time you come to the reports, you don't have to pull them up. They're all sitting here in my favorite section over here. As you can see, my previous day's range report, my initial balance breakout report, and my initial balance. And then you got the opening range, opening candle continuation.
Yeah.
There we go. So that's something that also is really, really neat, a neat feature about your guys' website. And I enjoy that as well. So very, very user-friendly. But as I think that's been the biggest thing for us as well, and working with a lot of traders, is don't try to trade everything. Just keep it simple. Have 3 or 4 reports that you look to build your system around. And you take it from there. But good day on the desk for me. I know you full up with taking care of Edgeful and that type of stuff. So no trading for you today. But I guess, I think, would you agree that keeping it simple when you come to desk, as well, I know you're still looking at trades and the markets and stuff like that, keeping it simple is the most effective way for you as well, right?
For sure. I mean, there's no question about it. So something else that I think people think about trading as like these institutions. They have these crazy algos. They have these machines that are automatically trading for them, and it's very complex. And you need a PhD to trade profitably. It's actually not the case. The people who kind of try to make their trading like that, where it's very complicated, very, very like over the top, where I need to have 17 indicators, and I need this X amount of patterns and all these different things. Those are the people that actually have the most trouble. I've spoken to so many traders, and those people that use 85 different confluences to take a trade are the ones that struggle the most. Keeping it simple, boiling it down, is without question going to help you psychologically on being in that trade and kind of being comfortable with the system. But it's also likely going to be more profitable, obviously, like depending on your strategy, just because you don't need 85 different things to set up. Like I know you like to trade previous day's range. Very, very simple. Previous day's high, previous day's low. Initial balance, opening range, breakouts. Like these are extremely simple things. And you've shown time after time with the stats that you post, your profitable months, profitable days. This is how it works. Like it doesn't have to be as complicated as people kind of make it seem in their mind. You don't really need to be, to be honest, like you don't really need to be like that smart to be able to do this successfully.
I agree.
You don't really need to be that smart.
No,
you need the discipline.
100%. Yeah. No, 100%, Andre. I mean, and I think also a lot of stuff online is that, I'm not the biggest, baddest trader. I actually tweeted this the other day. I'm not the biggest, baddest trader. I'll make my 5, K plus a month. But I'm not going to have, 50K days, 100K days, but I'll make money continuously. I'm 26 years old now. Imagine what I can do in the next 10 years. I wasn't making this type of money 5 years ago from trading. So imagine I just, times by 5, I could be making, 25 grand in a month, which is very nice money. So I think a lot of traders, they want to come in and just, if he's doing this and he's not making 50K a day, well, then I don't want to follow him. And I think it's the wrong mindset to look at, bro. And just in my opinion.
Yeah, I for sure the wrong mindset. Also, something which is everyone is guilty of is comparing yourself to someone else.
Yep.
Now, there are people that do make 70, 80, 100, 200,000 in a day. Now, that's very possible for anyone. And in my opinion, I think anyone can get there.
Yes.
It's a matter of experience, and it's a matter of starting capital. You are never going to make 100,000 in a day with a $20,000 account. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
You can build an account to get to that point where you have 500K in your account, and then you can make 100,000 in a day. But if you have a $3,000 account and you're looking at someone that's making like $5,000 a day or like $1,200 a day, and you want to replicate that, you're looking at it wrong. Yeah. You need to go based on your account size. Whether you use a prop firm, whether you don't, it's absolutely based on your account size and your position sizing specifically. And the experience is obviously the other side. Because if you can't handle $100 drawdown, I can guarantee you that you're not going to be able to handle a $10,000 drawdown. And in order to make 200,000 in a trade, you're going to have tens of thousands in drawdown on the trades that go to $200,000 in profit. It's just part of the game. If you can't risk it, there's no way that you can get there to make those giant trades or giant P&Ls. It's all about like easing yourself into building up your comfortability with your swings in the P&L. That's honestly in my opinion, one of the biggest flaws that traders have is they size up too quickly, and it starts to mess with their psychology. It starts to mess with their trades, and then that's how they start to blow their accounts. Yeah. It's mostly about sizing, and people are too eager to size up. They're too eager to, I want to make money now. And because trading is so easy to start, they're like, well, I could make money right now. This guy took the same trade that I did and he made 20K today. And it's not like that. Nothing is like that, unfortunately. And that's just the way that it is.
Yeah, 100%. No, I think this has been some good chats. So we'll leave you with a couple of, maybe tips before heading off. But let's go to, so my one would be pick one bias for the day.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a bias, wait for that first hour. And then the second one would be get some stats on your side. Use Edgeful's reports. The link is in my bio, so go check them out. Andre's been on plenty of my lives, and I do pre-market plans live every single morning, showing you how I'm using these reports. But pick one side of the market and then use reports to actually choose which side you're going to pick for that day. And that's where Edgeful comes in. So those will be my two key takeaways for today. Is there anything maybe that you would like to give, guys that are listening to Edgeful and you for the first time, Andre?
Yeah, for sure. So Edgeful will give you, no pun intended, it'll give you an edge. Yep. It'll show you the data that you need to become profitable. Now, what's very important in my opinion, and this applies to any trader regardless of their experience, when you see a report that has a 70% edge and you take a trade based on that and it doesn't work out, you need to understand that when something has a 70% edge, it works 7 out of 10 times, which also means that 3 out of 10, it's not going to work. So if you take a trade and it doesn't go in your favor that time, it's totally fine. It's part of the process because you need to take that trade over the next 20 times it sets up for the edge to play out. So don't get hung up on one trade or 2 trades, because your edge plays out over the course of 20 to 50 to 100 trades, and that's where the profitability comes. So that's what I'll say on that.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And also you're going to go through hot periods where things are working. Like I was actually having a look at my reports. I haven't had a red day, obviously touch wood, but they're going to come, bro. I mean, the last 3 months have been really, really solid. I have enjoyed moving over to the indexes, but I definitely think Edgeful has helped me a lot in terms of, no pun intended, but creating my edge, because it's different, bro. Like trading currencies to trading the indexes is just different. But Edgeful has helped me a lot in terms of me, making the transition. So I do want to pull it up. My Wi-Fi has been playing around today, but hopefully this comes up. In Edgeful's Discord, we are going to be live. I'm going to be having a trade-off against Chris. In Edgeful's Discord. I will put the link. It is in some of these posts, but I will make sure the link is in my bio as well. But it is on Edgeful's website. So go join the Discord and then go check us. We're going to be trading live, for fun in Edgeful's Discord from the 26th to the 30th of August. Come check us out there. I know Juan in South African terms, he is live in Edgeful's Discord at Market Open every single day as well. So there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff for beginner traders that aren't used to looking at statistics in order to make money trading, at least help
Exactly.
them put them on the right foot. So go check us out next week in the Discord. But yeah, appreciate you being on, Andre,
course.
and we'll definitely do it again. But then again, also always every single morning at about 8 a.m., 8:30 Eastern time, I am doing my pre-market plan live, showing how I'm using Edgeful statistics and setting you guys up for the day. So make sure to check me there. Appreciate you guys being on, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right. Thank you.